Hey, what's up, everybody? Video 44 coming at you another video. All right, so not so heavy topic, a basketball topic. Kenyon Martin said on Gilbert Arenas' podcast, I only saw an excerpt from it, but I figured it would be a kind of an interesting topic to snatch from them. Is Luka Doncic the best player on the Dallas Mavericks? I think the reality is that Kyrie Irving is so incredibly talented that it makes that conversation reasonable. And I think what you end up finding is people getting caught up in their race point of view and getting offended by that conversation more so than they probably would in most others. If both of them were white or if both of them were black, I don't think it would be the same vitriol pointed at each other when this conversation is being had. I'm just going to be honest with you. There are a lot of European people will get highly offended if you say anybody's better than one of their two superstars. And it's understandable because them superstars are great. I think the reality is, though, when you look at the skill set and the talent level of a Kyrie Irving, it's reasonable to think that there aren't too many players who've ever played this game more talented than Kyrie Irving. Not just in today's game, ever. Like ever. When you consider what his dribble packages are, his finishing packages, and overall what his talent level is, he can do things that no one else in the history of the sport has ever been able to do. And there's only a few players that we can say that about. And then when you start talking about who's better, you got to talk about the production. Well, Kyrie Irving won an NBA championship as a number 2. Luka Doncic got to NBA finals? Yes, an NBA. Get to the finals? I don't remember if he got to the finals or the Western Conference Finals. It's escaping me. But he got far, beat the Clippers, I thought, in the Western Conference Finals. To get to the finals, for some reason, that don't add up. I thought they lost to Phoenix or something that year. I don't know. But Luka Doncic has been able to be a credible source of winning as the number 1 option. Particularly with Jalen Brunson as his number 2, who would have been Kyrie Irving in this case. So it's very obvious there's 2 different tiers of player. But I also look at the size of Luka Doncic, and he has a much bigger size, so he's able to accumulate more rebounds, ultimately push people around in ways that Kyrie could not do. And you got to take that into account when you consider who's better. They both can put up a lot of numbers. They both can pass the ball at a high rate, but both of them are known for looking for their own shot. I think Luka Doncic's ability passing the ball is probably superior to Kyrie Irving's, but I don't think Luka Doncic takes advantage of his passing ability as much as maybe he would in a different system, because the Dallas Mavericks system has been based on giving him pretty much carte blanche over the entire offense, and then from there in a half-court setting able to do what he does. They're both uber gifted and talented. Luka Doncic has such an incredible touch around the rim that he can do trick shots and amazing trick shots with the best of them. So I've already seen what his talent level is. He can also do things that most can't do. Neither one of them are very good defensive players, so I'm not going to sit up here and say either one of them, saying Kyrie's a better defensive player than Luka Doncic is not saying very much to me, or vice versa. That's not saying much to me. They neither one of them playing defense like that. But they both can get stops. as talented players, they can both get stops. And maybe you want to bring the availability factor into the account. Obviously, Kyrie Irving is taking time away from the game. He's had more injuries. He's been in the game longer. So you take that into account as well. Luka Doncic has had some really good years healthy. He hasn't really had too many injuries, if any, that I remember really that kept him out for longer than maybe 3 weeks. So that is a big part of the game, of what we're talking about. I think when you look in the NBA, just if you look at the NBA right now, Luka Doncic is a higher tier than Kyrie Irving. But I don't think that necessarily equates to who's a better player when you zoom out and put them in different leagues all over the world. If you put Luka in a different league all over the world, is he always better than Kyrie Irving in every league, in every situation? That's a question that you're going to have to answer. For me, I ain't did enough homework on that. But what I can say is, because Kyrie's gifts are so ridiculously rare, and he is so incredibly skilled and universally understood as one of the most skilled players, if not the most skilled player to ever play basketball, there is a strong argument that he actually is the most skilled player on that team. Does that equate to him being better? I don't know. I don't think I'm coming to that conclusion here. But I know that I'm seeing a lot of people coming to certain conclusions, and it ain't based on basketball. I'll tell you that. I'm telling you that. If people ain't coming to conclusions based on who is actually the better player. They come to the conclusion based on their ego and what they feel about the racist aspect of the circumstance, for which I am not at all a part of in regards to how I'm assessing this. So what I'm telling you is, it's a good argument that Kyrie Irving is a better player than Luka Doncic. I think if you look at just overall rankings, he's not going to be. Not when you consider who's best in the NBA. But I'm knowledgeable enough of a fan to know that doesn't tell you the story in a lot of cases. In most cases it may, but in this case I don't know that it does. I think we'll know more about that as the season progresses, to be honest with you. But I know that the Dallas Mavericks are centered around Luka Doncic. They move as he moves. He certainly has way more power in Dallas than Kyrie Irving does. And I don't think that actually is something that we can really let come into play. Same reason I just said, if you put them in any different leagues, those two guys in different leagues in different situations, then you can assess more so who has more carte blanche. In that situation, you could have a situation that's totally different, to where it's Kyrie's team and then Luka Doncic is getting traded there. You know what I mean? As to which you would have to wonder who would be more, that would then determine how a lot of people view this as well. I don't think it's a perfect science. So that's really what it comes down to. I think Kyrie Irving is a more skilled basketball player. I do. I think when you from footwork to footwork, fadeaway to fadeaway, move to move, I don't think you can find three players more skilled than Kyrie Irving. You ain't gonna find three. Because if they could do certain things better than him, they certainly couldn't dribble as much as him. They're better than him. If they could dribble even close to him, they probably don't finish as well as he does. If they finish as well as he does, they're probably not accurate as a shooter as he is. So it's like, this is just arguably the most skilled basketball player of all time, man. And that's why it's a relevant conversation. But if I had to choose between two players of what I'm going to build around, I'm going to take the bigger guy. I'm going to take Luka, because Luka is more reliable. He's younger. He's bigger. And that's what I'm going to take for what I'm trying to do. So that's what I'm going to do in this league with my circumstance. That don't mean I don't expect Kyrie Irving to torch me. He may torch me. But I trust Luka Doncic a little more as it pertains to what I'm investing in. Kyrie's just spent too much time hurt for me. He spent too much time away from the game for unrelated circumstances. It just is what it is. But this is a viable conversation. And these are two players that you can really look at and wonder. On the best night, when you see Kyrie Irving have his best night, and you look at Luka Doncic and see him have his best night, they're going to be comparable. It ain't like it's going to be, oh my God, this is so definitive, one is better than the other, like a lot of people want to tell you. It ain't. I assure you it's not. Because when Kyrie gets in his bag, he can do things that he's yet to do. That's what I'm here to tell you. I think he could do more than he's shown thus far. And if he could stay healthy for a long enough season and be committed to the game a bit more than he's shown us he is, then there's a lot that he can still accomplish in winning, for which he already has a championship ring. I don't know that he can win next to Luka. I don't know that Luka can win next to him, because I think they need more defensive presence amongst the two stars. But they do have some good complementary stars around them. And while a lot of people will say this is not the best duo in the league, because you can compare several others, of course, the newly put together Dame and Giannis. But I got Kyrie ahead of Dame. And even though Dame may be more accomplished on the basketball floor in some ways, I ain't compared the numbers, but Kyrie's just more skilled than Dame, man. He's just a better player than him, dude. It just is what it is. And I definitely have Giannis over Luka today, because of the physical aspect of circumstances and the defensive side of the ball coupled with the offensive side of the ball. So I got Luka behind Giannis. So, you know what I mean? It's a lot of ways to look at that. But you can take superstars in different eras, slot them next to Kyrie Irving on a basketball floor, and Kyrie Irving will likely outshine them. If he's playing like he's supposed to be playing, his game is going to flare off in such a way that he's going to play better than a lot of superstars who are in the Hall of Fame right now. Guys who won championships, this, that, and the third. You put him on their team, he's better than some of them. It's just the truth, man. He's just touched by God. He's different. Really different. the good thing about this conversation is, so is Luka Doncic in a different way. It's not like he's lacking in some special God-given touched ability. With his touch around the rim, his ability to shoot from far away, trick shots and stuff like that, he also is touched. So that's what you have there in Dallas. Two very, very blessed, naturally gifted, super ridiculously talented individuals. And that's why this conversation seemed relevant for my channel. So that's what I had to say, man. I don't think I came to any conclusion. Like I said, I take Luka Doncic in the NBA because I expect him to do more as a bigger body and a younger guy. But I want to see Luka Doncic in a different system. I've seen Kyrie Irving in like 4 different systems at this point. I've only seen Luka in this system. And I tell you, if I would have seen James Harden only in the Houston Rockets system, I'd have said James Harden is better than both of them. Because when he was playing for Mike D'Antoni, the numbers he was putting up was bigger than both of these guys' numbers. And you take him out of that system and suddenly he looks a little more reasonable and different. You know what I'm saying? He looks a little more human in a different system. Everybody looks crazy in a system that's built for them. So I want to see Luka in a different system. And I know I'm not going to. So that's big. That's a big part of this. So that's pretty much what I got to say, man. My name is BDL44. I thank you all for watching. I'm out.